Good morning, friends. I'm Satish here. I'm trying to start a video clip series. One video, one concept. It will be short videos depending on the concepts. It may be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But intention for this actually just to introduce one concept in one video. And if I'm trying to introduce another concept, then I will be referring to the other videos. And this series will be helpful after you attend the live sessions because here to cover one concept, I may be using so many other things. So I will be giving the pointers to the other videos if I'm wherever I'm referring that. So to start with, so the basic thing whenever we start a programming, we'll start with printf statements like writing the output. So we'll be starting with concept for how to print the value to the screen or display. So how to generate output. So we will discuss in more about what is the output function. So usually like what happens whenever we are trying to learn any programming language, we will try to print hello world. So how what is that actually? Just to print that actually I am enter to the coding thing. So welcome to the programming. That is how we will be trying to print here. So how should we do that actually? So look into this one. So if you want to write just to write welcome to something, so we will be just using the print. So if you see here, the print is a keyword, and there is a starting bracket, and there is a closing bracket, and in between, whatever you are trying to write, it is a string. And how, where, why you are saying string? It is within the quotes. So it may be single quotes. So if here it is a single quote, or it can be double quote. Both should be same. So here I am using the single quote here. This side is a single quote here. So you can execute it. So if you wanted to do double quote, you can also do the double quote. So both should be the same thing. If you are one side double quote, one side single quote, it won't allow. So you will be doing both double quote. So this is how I'm trying to print. This is simple print statement. If I want to print the values, so here I'm trying to do a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20, and I'm trying to print a and b. So two values. So what I'm trying to do, this is the string. So I wanted to give some information about what I'm trying to print. And if you see here, actually there is a comma is there. So this comma is necessary because this and this is one value. This considered as one value, and this is another value, and this is another value. So this string I'm trying to print just to describe what I'm trying to print, and then the values. So one string is there and two integers are there. You can print any kind of combinations. Like it is not that like everything should be what we are trying to print is only string. So it can be string, it can be integer, it can be floating point, it can be any kind of data types supported by the Python programming. So now assume that if you wanted to do some kind of call some kind of a function within the print, that also you can do. So for example, here what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to understand what is the type. I wanted to print the what is the type of the int variable. So I wanted to type that. So what I'm trying to do, this is a string, this is a string, this is a variable. So but if you see here, actually this is a method. I'm trying to call a method. I'm trying to call a method, and I'm trying to do. It's like, so it is not only the different variable types, you can also call a method inside the print statement. So what I'm trying to do, so say the print is a starting bracket, closing bracket. Within that, I'm first printing the string, so then the comma. So this is one entity, and another thing is I'm trying to call a type function. What is that type function? Type function will give what type of that variable is there. So what I'm trying to get here actually, if you see here, actually the string is printed and then class int I have got. So it's like a is of type integer. So if you wanted to do expression in the printf, how should I do? So you can do expression also. It is not that only method you should call. You can also do the expression. What I'm trying to do here actually, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 15, and I'm trying to multiply a into b, and I'm trying to get that value. So anything, it can be any value, any kind of expression. This expression can be anything. What is expression? Expression is operators and operands, correct? So A and B is operators and one is operand. What operand I'm using? So multiplication operand I'm using. Any kind of logical operand, what kind of operator, whatever the operator you wanted to use, like multiplication, division, mathematical operator, logical operator, anything you can do. So there is no such limitation. If you wanted to do something that's like a logical operator, let me show you with using the logical operator also. So if I wanted to compare A is greater than B or B is greater than C, something you wanted to say, so you will also do that actually. So this is not a product actually, like which is the getter. So I should be saying that like which is greater, which is greater. So this is how we can do. It's like uh, anything we can do, which is greater, or like it is not if which is greater. If B is greater, uh, is is B is B greater than A, then A. So that is what I'm trying to print. So that is what I'm trying to print. And if B is greater than A, then that is true. So since here B is 15, A is 10, so if B is greater. So any kind of operator expression can be part of printf. So it's like what we looked into, printing a string, printing different kind of variables, and calling a method in the print statement, then calling an expression in the calculating an expression in the print statement. So we did that, and any kind of expression we did it. And if I wanted to do incorporate if statement, if you don't know what is the if statement and conditional statement, you can refer the another video which is on particularly on the if statement. So if you wanted to incorporate if statement in the printf, how should I do? Because we have done almost all things, correct? So now I wanted to print a if statement. So what I'm trying to do is a is equal to false, and now I'm trying to say. So here this if statement and the if statement, what we should be called using outside the printf is different. So how we should be doing that? That you can think, you can refer the if statement video. But here what I'm trying to say, if so this if keyword, and what I'm trying to do is actually this is a condition. So this is if this is true or false. If it is a true, then this will be printed. Whatever is before that actually. If this is true, whatever before that will be printed. Else whatever afterwards will be printed. So this is how the if statement in the printf. So what is the condition? If you see actually, if I wanted to say a is a, if a else b, so something that like if you are trying to do. So what I'm trying to say is actually if a is true, then this will be printed. Else, so this will be printed. This is how the if statement is in the printf. So what I'm trying to do is actually a is equal to false. I'm saying so a is equal to false means like if a is true, no. So else will be printed. What is the else? Else value is false. So that's what I got it actually. In the second statement, what I'm doing, a is equal to true. So now if a is true, then this value will be printed. So what is that actually? That is true. So this is how I am trying to use if statement in the printf. So what we look into, if statement in printf, expression in printf, methods in printf, and all these kind of things. So what else we can do? What is the syntax of the printf? If you wanted to see the what is exactly syntax of the printf in Python, so syntax of the printf is print objects, means like all these variables, whatever you want to do. So this is what we have given. All these are objects called. These are all variables, and then there is something called a separator. That means like separator. End means like how should we end the result? By default, every printf end with new line. What is a slash n is means like new line, and file means like by default it will be printed on the system.out. So system, this is system.out. So by default it will print on the system.out actually. So that is a file, and the flush is equal to false. Flush is equal to false means like it won't be flushing. So by default this is the syntax of the print statement. So what so far what we have used actually, we have only used this one actually, and we have not modified anything called separator and file or flush. So what we will look now actually, we'll try to modify some of these actually, like because there is no point in changing the system.out because I wanted to see the display on the output device. So I'm not changing that. Flush is also not that important. So I'm trying to use the separator and the end thing to beautify the output. How should I do that actually? So take this example. If I'm trying to print something similar to that, so I'm just getting the value. But in between, if you wanted to insert something, so in between one value or other value, you wanted to insert something, then use a separator. Like for example, anything if you want to say. So for example, if you say A plus B plus something plus C plus D, if this is what you wanted to print. So means like this value, and then if you wanted to print something result, so you can use separators. But in this case, what I'm trying to use actually separator is equal to 5. So this is how I'm trying to do the separator. So what exactly I'm trying to do? I'm just A into A star 2 star. It's like whatever the separator is there, that will be after one and another element. In between, that values will be used actually. In the second, in the third statement, what I'm using is a hash I'm using. So that is how I'm trying to separate the elements. And if you see here, actually by default, the first and second one, I have a new line. So it's like I'm ending with the new line. It's like there is nothing is there actually. But in the third statement, I'm using and. So that and will be the last element, because I'm putting that value at the end. When I say end means like, so for example, this if there is no end means like the cursor will go to the new line. But if you have an end, then that whatever you are trying to write, that end will be coming here. If it is explanatory mark, or it may be slash, it may be and, whatever it may be. So whatever you wanted to end with. So using this separator and end, actually step and end, I'm trying to beautify the output. Maybe you may not able to understand the beautification here. Let me see the another case. So if you wanted to insert one value and another value, between one value and another value, I want to insert a tab. It's like a space or size of tab. So how should I do that actually? Then you can use the escape character called slash t. So this is the escape character which will introduce tab there. So what happens actually? One letter, another letter, one value and another value, in between there is a space up to one tab. So if you see here actually in the first here 1, 2, 3, 3, everything is printed next here. Instead of that way, if I want to give some space in between, so I'm using the tab. And as I wanted to see that like I have ended it actually, I'm using a apostrophe actually, like so exclamatory mark. So it's like I have printed it and I have ended with that actually. So if you don't want to use actually, by default it will be something that's like a slash n. So it will be separated on. But if you wanted to use another escape character, like for example, in this case, what I'm trying to do is actually I'm printing the values with one in between tab space. It's like in between tab space. But what I'm trying to do is end is equal to backspace. In fact, I'm not giving any end character, but I am using the backspace. What happens actually? So for example, how this will be executed? It will print one, then tab, then print one, then tab, print one, then tab, the print one. This is done. Then after that, like end, what you are trying to do end you are trying to do backspace. Means like, so backspace means like it will be removing this and it is coming here. So this is what is happening. It's like I am erasing the last element. So I am trying to do that actually. So you can use end for any kind of activities. So you can use the escape character. You can use this. You can use just a string character. But everything you should be there in part of a string. Like if you see actually everything is in part of a string in the quotes. So single quotes. So it should be there in that. So that is how you should be calling the beautifying the output. So what we are looking into, so how should we use separate and end to beautify the output? So now, is this the only way we can beautify the output? There are any other methods. There is also another method called output formatting. So that is also very, very good approach to write the output. How should I do that actually? So if you see here actually, I'm trying to print A, B values actually. If you see actually A and B, but the value of A and B are something. But I don't know that like see 10 and 10. So if I say A 10, B is 10. If next to next each other, if I write actually, that will be much more better for me. So what I'm trying to do, if I have to do that one, I should be using output formatting. So how should I do? X is equal to 5, Y is equal to 10. So means like I am assigning X is equal to, now the value of X is. So now I'm trying to print that value here only. So I'm using something like a flower bracket here. And Y is, so again, I'm using something called a flower bracket here. So this whole thing is under the string. And what I'm trying to do, wherever I wanted to enter those values, so I wanted to write those values. So I am trying to add one flower bracket there. I'm trying to add another flower bracket here. So now what is the, how should I add value? Directly I cannot give X and Y. So there is something called dot format. So I am trying to use a dot format keyword. And in the bracket, if you see in the bracket, I'm trying to have X and Y value. It's like this X value will be printed here. This Y value will be printed here. So it's like by default. Now, so if you see the output, how it looks like, it is much more better than this way. So if instead of without using this, actually, if I print X and Y, so that will be printed after the string statement, because so this will whole thing consider as a string, which is here the whole string is editable kind of string. Like in between, some additional information will be added later on. So how that printf statement knows actually, because this is syntax, and whatever I'm trying to say actually, like this statement I'm trying to modify using means like formatting, means like I'm modifying that and I'm trying to enter certain kind of values. But this is not an independent thing. No. So the structure is not, this is not an independent string. So dot format has to be there and x comma y has to be there. So whatever you want to do. But for example, I don't want to do in the same order. Like this is the first value, this is second value. But I want to define my own value, my own order of displaying. So it's like I don't want this x to be printed always here or something. So what I'm trying to do is actually I wanted to define the order. So how should I do that actually? In the second statement, what I'm trying to do is I love, this is flower bracket. I'm trying to put a number, and another flower bracket I'm putting a number, and another flower bracket I'm putting a number. Now the format is something same. Now bread, butter, and milk. So what I'm trying to say, so here we have three elements. One is the bread, another is butter, another is a milk. So, and this is the number 0th element, this is number 1 element, this is number 2 element. And I wanted to print 0th element here because I mentioned here index of that element 0, index of second. So I'm trying to do. So this is by default, it will be like this only. But if you wanted to change the order, so first element I'm writing here, second element I'm writing here, 0th element. So this is how I can format the output, whichever the order. So if you are not giving any order, by default, it will be in the sequential order. But if you wanted to customize, you can customize anything. So for example, if instead of 2 here, so if you wanted to do 0 here, and if you wanted to print 2 second here, so second element is the milk actually, is index of the milk is 2. So I'm printing that way. So you can do whatever the order you wanted to do, whatever the order you wanted to do. But if you are not interested in this just number thing, this number doesn't make any sense to me. Remembering that is very, very difficult. You can even use the keywords actually. So keywords to print that. So what I'm trying to do in the second case, so hello, and in that I'm not giving the number. I'm giving the argument value keyword. What I'm trying to give actually, I have assigned an argument not as an index called name, another argument as a greeting. So what I'm trying to do here actually, same thing. The only thing what is difference here and here is actually instead of using the integer numbers, I'm using the argument names actually. And how should I define now? I cannot define something similar to that. Actually, I should be defining with the argument name. It's like this argument name and this is the value. This is the argument name. This is the value. This is the argument name. So what I'm trying to do actually here, I wanted to give meaning for those values because remembering 1 2 3 4 5 6 is very, very difficult. I don't know what is the one, because here also I don't know that like what is 1 2 3. Okay, 1 or 2 is there, it is very easy. But if it is a 10 values are there, it's very, very difficult. What is the one number, second number, third index, fourth index. So if we have the arguments actually, okay, here I have to say hello, the person name. So okay, whatever, wherever it may be, the name, and here I should be saying greeting. So for example, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, anything. So how that will be printed? So print hello the students. Like so, to whom I am addressing? I'm addressing students. So I am saying addressing hello students, good morning. So that's how I have started this video. So if you wanted to print for something similar to that, so if you wanted to say that like instead of saying student, if you say that like hello Satish, good morning. So you can say the name. It's like you know that like whom you are trying to address and what you wanted to create. So if you wanted to change the greeting, you can change the greeting. So this is how this is a better way of putting the output to look very good actually. So if you have something else also, like for example, instead of saying that like I just want how to add argument, I have to add another thing. Like what I have added here actually, hello, the person, greeting, and from who is greeting you. So now what I have done actually, the who is the wisher is Satish actually. Like now the statement will be hello students, good morning from Satish. It can be any company, good morning from company, good anything. So you can do all those kind of things. So when this output formatting, using this output formatting, you can beautify the output much more better way than without using that actually. So this makes much more sense for me to print the values in better way. So this is another kind of feature provided in Python to beautify the output. So what all things we looked into? To just summarize, we looked into how to print multiple values and what kind of in printf what all we can do, how we can beautify. So now to continue further, so we can also do some kind of C style of printing. So what is the C style of printing? So if you are not familiar with the C, you can refer the C. So they used to use something like a percentage D and all those things. Percentage S, percentage D for integer, percentage S for string, percentage F for float, and some space and all those things. So if you wanted to print, use those kind of formatting in Python, that is also possible here. So how should we do that actually? So how should we do that? So for example, if you wanted to print a floating point, and this is a floating point value, so I don't want the entire value, but I just wanted after decimal point only two values, so two digits. So how should I do that actually? So percentage, so it is a three. Initially, it is a three digits. It's like before digit, I'm looking for three digits, and after digit, I'm looking for only two digits actually. And this F is actually for floating point. So what I'm trying to do, this is a completely part of a string. And after that, what I'm trying to do is actually percentage is here. So percentage here in front of this, whatever I'm trying to format. Here also not I'm writing directly value. I am trying to add a percentage because so it will get confused because before without any format I'm directly writing. But what I'm trying to say actually, this is a formatted thing. So this is not a different normal value. It's a different one. So when I say it is a percentage, it's like I'm trying to format some kind of format I'm trying to do. So now it will be wherever there is a percentage there. So it is trying to format according to that. So how it will be printed? This value is not printed directly, whatever it is there. So it is as per the format available in this string. So how, see, if you see here, I wanted to print after the digit only two numbers. Like if you see here, actually 12.35. So only 12.35. So why it has become 35? Why, how, where it is 3.4? So it also does something called nearest way. It's like, so it is optimizing. It's like it is calculating optimal value. So for example, after point, it is 3 is there, the value will be 3 only. After point 3 4, so if 3 4 5, so value will 3 4 3, assume that, like, then value will be 3.4. So because it is optimizing for 2. So if the value after this two digit is greater or equal to 5, then this number will be incremented. So it will become 5. If the value is less than 5, so this value will be as it is because that is negligence. So this is called optimization. So it is optimizing proper truncating the value. So it is smart enough to do that kind of thing. So now I'm trying to do the second thing. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to print 4 digits after the decimal point. So I can do 4 digits after the decimal point. So this is how I can be printing. So if you want to, this is one kind of style. If you wanted to another like format kind of style, like we discussed here, no? So using format, if you wanted to do, so you can do that kind of style also. This is a new style. So how should I do that actually? Print, but here, so in the print, I'm not using name. I might see here what I'm trying to use. Here I'm using integer. Here I'm using name. But here, since I'm formatting some values, so I'm not using name. I am not using the integer, but I am using those formatting keys. So how should I do? So there is a cooler and then F. So I'm using this cooler and F. So if I use the cooler and F, then I'm trying to print. So this is how I'm trying to print it actually. And if you want to say that like how many digits, everything you can say it actually. And if you want to do the formatting of the integer, so I said no, for integer we can use using percentage D. So I'm trying to do percentage D. So what I'm trying to do is percentage D. I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to print it. And if you wanted to print with, if I say 10 digits, so I wanted to say something like this actually. What I'm trying to say is actually, so number elements are only 23. So this will take only two customs like two space to print it. But if I say something like a 10D, so 10D means like So it will allocate the 10 spaces, actually means like to digit 10 to print 10 values, but you are only printing only 2, so it will only print 2, means like the remaining will be space. So this is how the formatting will happen. So this is how the formatting will happen. So now what I'm trying to do is actually, so I'm trying to print, this is normal way, so I'm printing this way and ended with exclamation mark. So here I am trying to say that like print at the space 10. So means like I'm trying to give the pad there. So I'm trying to add a pad over here because because the number of digits here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So only 5 are there. But how many digits I allocated to print this? How many space I allocated to print this is 10. So means like I am allocated 10 space, but I'm only utilizing 5 spaces. Means like 5. So the remaining will be empty. So this is how I will be getting the output. So it's like this will be space and that's something. And same thing if you wanted to use using the format kind of structure. So using the dot format. So I'm using. So what I'm trying to do, this percentage is replaced by dot colon and everything in the flower bracket. So the same thing. Rest is like this, then this, because this is how this is the old kind of style. This is C kind of style, and this is the Python kind of style actually. So, but Python also supports those old style also and this new style also. So you can do something similar to that. What is the difference here and here actually? I'm just replacing this percentage, and there is no necessary to have this percentage because anyhow it will be part of the format. So this is how I'm trying to print. So I'm trying to print formatting the integer. I'm formatting the float. You can format other things. So if you wanted to have a sign values, so it's like for example, okay, fine, I am formatting the digits and everything is fine, but I wanted to add a sign. What is a positive number or negative number? Sign means like if the number is positive or somewhere negative, depending on that, I wanted to print that sign also. So how should I do? By positive, by default, it won't print. So what is the default structure? If the integer is minus something, so it will print it, but positive it won't print. So it will neglect it actually. If you wanted to print that positive, so how should I do? Percentage plus ND. So I'm adding plus here. So means like by that plus will be printed. So this is how. This is in the older, like minus not necessary. So for minus there is not necessary because it will be always there. So this is how I am trying to format the integer value. And if you want to add a padding, so I said no. So if you want to add some kind of a padding between some sign and something, so you can do the padding. So what I'm trying to do here actually, colon equal to 5. So I'm saying that like I'm allocating this 5 spaces and I'm trying to do. So what happens actually, this minus will be printed and then this is total things. How it will be there actually. So instruction when I say equal to 5D, so what happens actually, like minus will be printed here and then how many spaces? So 1, 2, like those many spaces will be there. In that, if the value is only 2, the 2 value will printed. If it is all 5, then it will occupy from here to here. So this is how I'm trying to format and with the padding. So with the padding, this is called padding. It's like whatever the number, like if the padding will happen is because the how I'm allocating more space than what is necessary to print that value. So that is how it is padding is happening. So now in the second case, what I'm trying to do, so that is the same thing. And if you don't want that padding because you are not able to understand whether padding is happening or not. If you wanted to replace that padding with some kind of a specific value. So for example, I am not able to understand what is that padding is there. So I see here because no, see, I don't know that like is the padding is happening or something is happening here. But if you wanted to see here, like I have used something to show that like there is a space is there, empty space. So if you wanted to use something like this or star or whatever it may be, if you wanted to use that, so you can do that. So I am using that whatever the character I should be putting in that padding space. So this is the character I'm trying to put. So equal to then 5D. Just like this character will be used to replace the space. So replace the space. No, this is how the padding looks like. This is how the padding looks like. So what we understood here, we understood how to format the numbers using the C kind of style and using the format kind of thing, and how to add the padding. And also we discussed how to add the sign numbers different so in front of that, and how to add custom padding. So so this is about printing. So now what about the string? So if you want to do for the string values, So we will be trying to do how to print the string values. So how I'm trying to do the same thing. So I'm trying to use a C style. So percentage S for string. So I'm using that and I'm trying to print. And here I'm giving more space than the what is necessary for text. Text is actually only 1, 2, 3, 4 letters, correct? So 4 characters. But how many character space I'm allocating? 10 character space I'm allocating. So it will automatically the padding will be there. But if you want to say that same thing using the format kind of things, this is the way I should be writing. So this is the way I should be writing for printing the string with padding. So if you want to do left align and right align, how should I do? So now I should be specifying that like no, you should be right align or left align. I'm using this minus. If I'm saying minus here and 10, so it will be left aligned. It's like don't leave the space before actually, but after printing the value. So this is a left align. So it's like text will be printed before and then it. See, by default, what happens actually, it will give the space and then it will print the text. But I don't want by that. First you print the text and then leave the space. So this is called left align. So I'm trying to do that. So I'm using minus actually. Same thing if you wanted to use with the format structure keyword. So I'm using colon and 10. So colon and 10 because there is no necessary to say because entire thing is string. So no need to say it is a string because by default it is string. So by default everything in the quotation is and this format is for string only. So no need to say it is a string again because but for other values, so I have to say it is D means like integer, F means my float. For other values, I should be saying. So I should say that like what kind of value I should be printing here. If it is by default the string, so no, I not need to say anything. So what I'm trying to do here actually, I'm trying to just use the colon and the 10. So whatever it is that this will be there. And if you wanted to do custom padding, same thing. So I'll be using that custom padding. So whatever the way I should be doing. So if you wanted to use something else, also you can do. So and another thing what I have understood here, like so if you what you understood, you can notice here less than 10. So less than 10 or greater than 10. So see if you say less than 10, so this is the way it will be there. If it is a greater than 10, if you say greater than 10 means that the alignment. So here, so by default, this is the alignment will be there. Left alignment will be there. So no need to specify anything. But for right alignment, if you wanted to do, or this has to be there before the text actually, this is how I should be doing. Greater than or less than. So this is the method to print the string. So if you wanted to print something that okay, I don't want only 10, I wanted to do 20. So you can any number. So if you want to do 20, also you can do 20. So what is that structure itself? This is the text which I'm trying to print, and this is the now how many spaces, character spaces I'm necessary for that, and if it is more than the text space, and it will add a padding. But if you don't want the normal space, actually, if you wanted to have some special character there, so that character I'm mentioning, and less than that, that's this left aligned, and greater than that is a right aligned. So this is the indication for the printf to align left or right. So whatever the way you want to do. If you want to do center kind of align, so there is a something like a XR kind of symbol. So cap, the small cap is there. No? So this will give you a center align. So center align means what is center align? So it's like if I'm trying to print a text, so 10 character space. In that, like I will be printing the text in the mid to center align. And if you wanted to add padding with that, actually, then whatever the padding way. So I'm using that padding thing before that cap. So this is how I should be doing center align and capping. And if you want to truncate, so for example, if you want to truncate the value, so it's like I don't want to print the entire values. So I want to only print only specific number of characters because then I should be using. This is the old style percentage dot 5. So when I say dot 5, so only 5 characters. It's like you just only select the 5 characters. So whatever. So whatever the number of, like if it is 5 characters, it is 10 characters. So welcome to Pragyana is bigger than 5 characters. How many? So welcome has so many characters and space and 2 and space and Pragyana. So many characters are there. But I am not interested to print entire all the characters actually. I only wanted to print the first 5 characters. How should I do that actually? Dot 5 and yes. So what I'm trying to do. And same thing with the format thing. So same thing. So here only thing I'm not having is actually yes, because yes is not necessary because it's by default this thing. And colon is there to specify and dot 5. So this is how I can do. And if you want to add a padding, so I just wanted a 5, but I also wanted to have pad for that actually. Then you will be using 10. So what is that actually? This 10 format looks like. Okay, I am see dot after that whatever is number. I am saying that like only selecting those number, those characters. But 10 means like so I am allocating 10 space, but whatever the selected characters will be printing that within the 10 space. But this 10 doesn't mean that like I'm selecting 10 characters from the string. So dot after that, whatever is there, that is indicating that like how many characters I am selecting. But this 10 is saying that like how much space I'm allocating to print that. So that is what it is saying. So I'm allocating more time to allocating more space to print that. So this is how it will happen. And if you wanted to add those end parameters or something, so you can add those end parameters also. So it's like I'm trying to add end there. So what is that actually? Like here I'm adding manually something that's like a apostrophe here, but you don't want to use that. So you wanted to use end parameter, you can use end parameter. Using end parameter, you can end how it should be ended actually. And since by default end parameter is new line, so after printing some value, it will go to the next line. Since I replaced the end parameter with apostrophe, so after printing that, it is not going to the new line. It will be printing next and after printing next, because if by default it is new line, that is the reason it is going to the new line. But here you replace that end with the exclamatory mark, so it is not going to the new line. So that is how you should understand. And if you wanted to do the same thing, what you say padding and all those things, you can use that actually. So I'm trying to use that. If you wanted to add the new line, so you should add another printf to add the new line. So what because you replace that end with exclamatory mark. So if you wanted to add in between a new line, then you should be using another printf. Because if you just use another printf, by default end will be exclamatory minus slash n, so it will print a new line. So what to summarize this actually what we understood. So by you just printf, this is a simple printf, but printf gives a lot more things to customize and output. So printf is more powerful. You can do any number of values, any kind of values. You can use expression, you can use if statement, you can use methods, you can also use something called separator and end thing to beautify it. And apart from that, also you can use something like a format. So you can use the format to beautify further. And you can the format will be by default, it will be integer kind of values. But if you wanted to give the custom name for those things, you can use the argument name also you can use. And C style formatting also supported. So you can do all those using percentage F, percentage D, S, and everything. All the C kind of formatting is supported. And if you want to do aligning, you can do the aligning. If you want to do customization of the alignment, actually it's like wanted to the space utilize with the custom kind of cursor or values, so you can do that. You can add the padding, you can do right alignment, you can do left alignment, you can do center kind of alignment. So you can do all these kind of things. So because by doing this actually, instead of just printing the value, you can print the value in more beautiful ways. So this is the power of Python. And if you have any questions, you can ask to me and you can write to me. And please uh, share this or like this if you enjoyed the session. And if you have any comments or any suggestions, let me know. Thank you.